Let me tell you what happened. And then you tell me what you would do also, right? Do you know the difference between just having talking to yourself in your head and a loud voice in your head screaming at you to do something?
Yes.
You know the difference.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever had anybody screaming in my head to do something.
Yeah, you might want to get that checked out.
We might be psycho.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you remember the last time you had it?
It was like, you mean instinctually, right? It's like your instincts are telling you to do something that you may not want to do. Is that what you mean?
I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what it is. I guess the example that I gave you guys a couple of weeks ago was when I was in church, right? And I went with my girlfriend Amanda, and the voice in my head wasn't just a thought. It felt like something very different. And that thought was, or the voice was over and over and over again, let it go. Let it go, let it go, during the sermon, at a very profound part of the sermon also that connected with me. And I couldn't figure out, is that just me telling me something, or is that something bigger screaming in my head? Because there are two totally different things.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I spoke about a story like this yesterday, actually, about a red cardinal. And then I kept seeing this cardinal, and every time I would see it, there was a voice in my head telling me that it was sending me a sign for life. And I didn't believe it. I kept ignoring it. But the same cardinal kept showing up at the same place every day until I finally took a picture of it and it posed for me. And it kind of made me feel like that was the sign that I was looking for.
You guys haven't had anything like that?
I tell you what's more exciting is, instead of just having your own voice inside of your head and talking or whatever, is to actually talk out loud in public. It really freaks people out.
Way more fun, right?
I have done that in our parking lot more times than I would like to count.
So I paid attention to it when I was in church, and I listened to that loud voice when it comes to those things, when they pop into my head. The second one I had was last week. It was yelling in my head, yelling. It wasn't like a random thought like, hey, you should do this. And it was, ask Cassie how she's doing. Something's not right. And there was nothing in studio that would give me any indication that she was on the struggle bus. I mean, we all know that she's been living out of an RV and she's having a hard time, but she's been going through a very difficult time for 3 years now. And for whatever reason, it was, ask Cassie if she's okay. She's not okay. And I put it off for days and days and days. And I finally did. I couldn't deny it anymore while we were on the air. And she did. She broke down on the air and said she was really going through a very difficult time, right? So that's the second time. This time was going to be a little bit stranger. So I'm in the gym, and let me try to paint the picture for you. So I get done with my workout, and I'm in the gym locker room at the very same time as a guy that looks like he's in maybe his early 70s, and he's got a tremendous amount of loose skin on him, right? So it's clear that he lost a lot of weight. I don't know if it was from illness or he was trying to lose weight. I don't even know what the story is. But he was really on the struggle bus. As he sat down, he took one of the lower lockers, because they're on top of each other. He took one of the lower lockers, and he was really breathing really hard. So I noticed it as I was getting my stuff, and this voice in my head was screaming at me over and over and over again to say something to the effect of, tell him that to not forget the struggle that has gotten him to this place right now, that he's doing great. And it was over and over and over in my head. Like, not a thought. It was almost like a command. Because this guy was breathing so heavy. And he was trying to put his shoes on also. And I could just tell how much of a struggle it was. And that voice kept saying in my head, tell him he's come such a long way. Don't forget that. Right? So I turned to him, and I couldn't do it.
Really?
It just felt too weird. It just felt really, really strange, right? So I'm starting to walk. It just...
I mean, I know you were in the locker room. You weren't naked, were you?
No.
Okay.
Hey,
man.
So I didn't do it. It just felt too strange. It almost felt like condescending or arrogant to think that I'm having some kind of voice in my head, and I'm going to give this guy some nugget that he really needed to hear. That thing's it feels like it only happens in the movies.
Mm-hmm. It's like, how self-important am I that I have these? I get where you're coming from, and I get why the hesitation. But I mean, either he receives it or he doesn't.
I get those. Now I understand more what you mean. That happens to me often, and most of the time I don't follow through. I do the same thing you did, but I do remember one day downstairs, actually, in this building, I was in the gym. There's an older lady who always would go, and she would she just would be doing her thing. And one random day, I got the same exact thought. And it was weird. It was out of nowhere. I don't know why, but I followed through, and I told her, I just want to let you know I see you every day, and you are really crushing it. She started crying.
Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah, I guess she really needed to hear that. And she would start asking me for advice every time she would see me after that. But I believe in that. I believe when you get a message like that, you're supposed to deliver it.
You missed your moment to make an old man cry.
Well, I didn't know what he was going to do. I might have been the old man that was crying. But in your case, it's very different. Like, you saw her and you paid her a compliment. This guy was clearly on the struggle bus, and it almost felt like I was going to give him a nugget from the universe that was using me as the mouthpiece, and it just felt ridiculously arrogant.
Oh, it would have totally come off that way. But here's the thing. When you're in those situations, if you really feel strongly about saying something, why not just strike up a conversation with the dude? And then, a couple sentences in, then you drop the wisdom nugget. So then it's not like, hey, man, I'm the voice of God in the Planet Fitness locker room.
Yeah. I guess walking out of the locker room, the last thing I'm thinking is, all right, let me strike up a conversation with this guy. I felt like wisdom, stick and move, and that would be fine. I just couldn't do it, though. But if we're there again at the same time, and when you go to the gym, you see the same people over and over and over again. This is a new guy.
I know this now because I actually go.
I know. How about that? If I see him again and he's in the same situation,
Yeah.
I'm going to say something to him.
You have to.
You
I have to say something to him.
The Bert Show.